Okay, so now everything should be fine. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm going to code the HTML and CSS for our assignment from yesterday, from the beginning to end. So what I'm gonna do is I created this new file. It has nothing in it. I'm gonna make it look like this student bio. So I'm gonna start off first with the doc type. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go like this, hit doc type. HTML. And then I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it as index.html. And I'm just going to save it inside my projects. Let's just create a new folder. I'm just going to call this HTML CSS project. Save that in there. Okay. So now I'm going to add my HTML. I always add my end tags first, just my own preference. And then I'm going to add head tags. This is where my metadata is going to go. So I'm going to create a title. You guys didn't need to create a title, but I'm going to create a title. So I'm going to say HTML and CSS. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create a body. And from here, let's see, we have, what do we have first? We have this H1 area. So this one, we can use the header element. So the header element is just like the div element, except that it's used semantically for anything that's in the header. So a header could be like, something that's like H1, navigation, things like that. Anything that's at the top of the page. So right now we don't have anything else at the very top of the page except for the student bio. So I'm just going to put this inside the header. I'm going to put H1, I'm going to do student bio. Cool. All right, let's see what we got next. So next we have, let's see, we have this element along with H2, an image. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. We have an H2, we have an image, and we have some text. So I'm just going to put that all into one section. And so let's actually put this whole thing inside of a container. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So and generally we do this at the beginning of the page. You can also use a main, but I'm just going to use this one, call it container. And this is going to contain all my elements that are not inside the header. So this is going to be all like my main content. So I could have used main, and that would have been fine as well, but I'm going to use div. And I'm going to put, let's see, how many sections? It's about 2 sections. So this section over here, where my mouse is hovering over, that's one section, I believe, and then this is another section. Again, sections are very similar to divs. They're just different semantically. But in terms of functionality, they're exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we have 2 sections. One of them is going to have an H2. I'm going to put your name. And then I'm going to have an image. And this is going to be my profile pic. Do I have any pictures of myself? I'll find a picture of myself. Oh, right. I'm in that one weird screen view that Mac has. Okay, so image is self-closing, so we don't need anything for that. And I'll put the image in later. Let me put a paragraph element for this last part. Write some random stuff. My name is Omar Patel. I enjoy painting, MMA, traveling, all things geek, and fun conversations. Now, I didn't want to use the lorem ipsum, although I could have used the lorem ipsum to generate some text. A trick to do that, you can use lorem, and I believe you hit tab and it generates all this text for you in Sublime Text. There's also some really fun text generators you can find online, but we won't worry about that right now. So we have this section done. All right, so next we have this section. So we have, let's say, another H2, contact info. And H2 does come with its own styling. The H1 is bigger in terms of font size. H2 is a little bit smaller. And paragraph is the smallest. So I'm going to go with H2. And then I'm probably going to create an unordered list with list items for each one. I could use strong. Yeah, I guess I can use strong. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to do this. So we have an unordered list of elements, and you can see that by these little bullet points. And I'm just going to do li, and see, this looks bold. Yeah, so I'll just use strong tag. Normally I like to use CSS for this, but it's fine. Now let's see, email. Then this is going to be a link. So I'm going to use, well, let's see, Patel123 Gmail. What is it? Patel next at, gosh, I forgot my email. I'll just use my normal email. They just gave me my UCLA email, so I don't really remember. So I'm just going to put this one. Don't contact me at this email, please. I won't respond. And so I'm going to output that. So I'm going to put 123 at gmail.com. And we have to add our closing anchor tag. Right. That's good. And I kind of like to be a little bit better about this. You don't have to do this. I just like nesting it even more strictly, so you could have had this all in one line. I prefer to indent this stuff though. So I'm just going to copy this, paste that, copy this whole thing, paste that. It's good to be lazy sometimes. I'm going to replace this with GitHub. OSP123. Let's see. I'm not sure if that's the correct URL, but let's just say it is for now. Portfolio, and I have a link to my portfolio. What is the link to my portfolio? Jeez, how do you use this stuff? Sorry, I'm still getting used to this new Mac stuff. Or it's the new PowerPoint stuff, or whatever it's called, the new operating system stuff. Okay, let's just not do that anymore. I don't know. My profile name is. Okay, here we go. So I found it. It is hope if you can see it. Portfolio. Okay, there we go. All right, so now let's see how this looks in the web browser. Now I just need a picture of myself. Do I have pictures of myself? I do not. Do I have any kind of pictures? Oh, here we go. I do have a picture. Profile, JPEG. And I'll just save that into the same directory. So what I'm doing now is I found a picture of myself. I'm putting in the same directory as where my project is. So we're inside HTML and CSS project. And normally I'd have an assets folder, but I'm just going to put that directly in there. I could have hosted this on an image storing site, but there's only one image, so I'm just going to do it locally. So it's just going to be profile.JPEG. There we go. Okay. So this looks very similar. Let's say it looks exactly the same. So we're good to go for the HTML.